Man, we back at it again with another episode of Lockdown. Welcome to episode 30, man. 30 episodes in. I got another guest for y'all today. Podcast host Ramsey, CEO of Open Airs Entertainment. Just started his podcast and it's going up with it, man. First of all, I just want to appreciate you coming on the show, bro, for sure.
No problem. Appreciate you having me.
Wow. So the first thing we're gonna get into is, man, what made you want to start a podcast like? When I first started my podcast, I just wanted to reach people and give them a platform. But what was the reason you started a podcast?
Well, it's funny you said that. I had this blueprint for like 5 years. I was just holding on to it. Like
That's
starting like 2015 for like my senior year, I would host parties and stuff like that. That's how I kind of like built my name around like different counties and stuff like that. So I was already creating a platform for myself, and like I saw that like yeah, I'm getting like I get like a lot of followers like off that platform and everything. So I kind of like wanted to like transition from the parties though, because I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. It's mad stressful. You feel me? Trying to like host a party all day, like you gotta watch out for like fights and house destruction, all that stressfulness. So I'm like, how can I use my platform and like put it in another way where it can also help people too? Because I like helping people. You feel me? Like
right.
that's just my type of like human nature, like looking out for other people. So I'm like, you know what? I was high one day. You feel me? This was in my Towson crib. I was with my like old shawty, you feel me, and my other good mans. I was high one day, got to thinking like, okay, I do music, I DJ, you feel me? I host parties. I was just high one day and I came up with the idea. Let me just start my own podcast, you feel me, out here, because like we don't really have that in the DMV, you feel me? So I'm like, how can I like come at a different angle and send a message that I want to like other people too, you feel me? So that's what made me create this podcast by like just figuring out like the scene, the social scene, and like trying to like come at a different angle for real.
Just talk a little bit about, you just previously mentioned the social scene because, when I first started doing a podcast, it was very difficult to try to reach different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do your friends and things like that, but just talk about how important it is to reach people on the social level, people of different ethnicities, they come from different backgrounds. Talk about how important that is and what that means to you. Because, you want to get a chance to interview all types of people. Talk about why that's important for a podcast.
The same. It's all about who you know, not what you know. Like, like it's very important to network. Like, and kind of in the DMVs, like people kind of be closed minded and like closed off a little bit. You feel me?
Right.
I don't think it's just like intentional, but like that's just how we are. Like that's our nature and kind of in DMV. So when I created Open Ears and the name and everything, I want people to be open mind. So keep an open ear. You feel me? Like just listen and like absorb anything you can. Because in life you only live once. You feel me? So
Right.
like soak up as much knowledge as you can while you're here on this planet. So like the importance of networking is always good because you never know who you will come across. Like just like anybody, you feel me? Like you can't be biased to no type of person, whether it's black, white, Asian, Latino. You feel me? Like everyone's created equally, and everyone has some general knowledge of something that can also help you benefit you. You feel me? You can
Right.
always learn from anybody. So like when I'm like building connections and network, I'm always engaging with somebody just because like you never know what that person can do for you. You feel me? Like in the long run, you don't know what connections that person might have. You feel me?
Right.
For what you want to do. You feel me? So you never should really be cut off to know anyone. You feel me? Because like you just never know who you might run into.
Most definitely. I'm glad that you mentioned networking because networking can take podcast hosts for sure a very long way, but just in general in life, I feel like networking is a great tool to have and a huge resource for a lot of people. But speaking on networking and transitioning to the podcast, talk about the name Open Ears Entertainment, man. That's a very very creative name for a LLC, and you're the CEO of it as well. So just talk about how you came up with the name Open Ears Entertainment and why that name fits you the best.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier a little bit, but like it was one day. Well, this is when I was going to counseling and had my own shit at counseling, and I used to throw hella bangers, like just hella parties and stuff like that. So like people just, and I used to DJ them sometimes, or I would have like a couple of my friends DJ them too that I thought was good. Like people like, damn, like they would always tell me like, yo, Rambo, just hop on the aux. You always got good music or some shit like that. So I'm like, you know what? This like I'll be watching like a lot of No Jumper and like a lot of like the West Coast movement because they're like a little bit ahead in the music scene and stuff. And like they be listening to everybody, you know, not just like one sound. Out here in the DMV, we like a lot of that DMV music. You feel me?
Right.
Or like a lot of that Atlanta music, but like we're not really open to like the rest of the sounds and elsewhere, you feel me, all around America or in the world. So I'm like, you know what, let me create this name Open Ears. I was high one day, you feel me, with my old shawty and my other mans at my crib. I'm like, yeah, Open Ears, because like I'm trying to open everyone to like new sound, new music, new information, you feel me? And I called it Open Ears Entertainment because it's not just music I'm trying to like reach across. I'm trying to do all entertainment fields, you feel me? So Open Ears Entertainment, like keep your ears open to new stuff that's coming, you feel me? It's a play on words.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Just talk about, what you envision for your podcast moving forward, because, as people that's watching, definitely go check them out on Instagram at Rambo Spin That. I will drop the
Mm-hmm.
Instagram name, but just talk about some of the interviews you've done so far and what you learned about doing podcasts the most. Also, what was your favorite interview so far? Who do you feel like was your favorite interview, and you got the most information out of, and just the interview that you can look back and say like that was a really great interview.
That's a good question right there. So you said what made me get into podcasts, right?
Not necessarily what made you get in the podcast, but
Mm-hmm.
like what you envision for your podcast, like moving forward. Like, do you possibly look to have your own studio one day,
Mm-hmm.
be a talk show host, that type of thing? And then once again, like, who was your favorite podcast? What was your favorite podcast episode so far? Because you have a lot of them out right now.
Yeah.
You're waiting to drop. I'm one of them for that don't know. Make sure y'all definitely check out that interview. That was a great interview for sure. But just talk about what you envision for your podcast moving forward, because I'm pretty sure you might have a lot of things planned. So
I don't want to. The end goal is, to have my own radio station. That's the end goal. My own radio station and channel, like TV channel, for real, for real. So on that TV channel, it's kind of bring you like that, I guess, BET vibes mixed with
yeah,
like a little like Vice News. You feel me? Like it's gonna like we're gonna have documentaries, all kinds of things. But we gotta start small and work big. So I'm starting with interviews, to portray a message of like, okay, this is information from other people, like from a other perspective of like someone else. You feel me? And then I'm gonna work bigger and bigger. I'm gonna create documentaries. From documentaries, create like a little mini like online radio station, and then from there it's going to like slowly build into like a regular radio station. That's the end goal, for real, like my own radio station. And like the best interview I would say I had so far, who gave me like the most information, wow, there was a lot of good interviews that I had, like all were great, but probably either the YTK one or like my last interview with Young Inky, because like
yeah.
with Young Inky one, my man's was just spilling information, like so naturally. And he was just giving a lot of good information, like information you wouldn't even expect to hear. You but oh, he said this, you feel me? But I
Yeah.
can go off of it, you feel me? So like I guess like when people really like when the person who's getting interviewed doesn't really, care about what they say, it makes it a better interview because like they're giving out the unexpected. And that's what people want. Like that's what the audience kind of wants, like the unexpected.
So as you're from the Howard County area, around
Mm-hmm.
Lower Maryland area. Talk about just networking in this area specifically, because when you look at some of the episodes that you've done, you have people that you've interviewed from the Lower Maryland area. But just talk about Lower Maryland, Lower Maryland, growing up in Lower Maryland, and just networking in Lower Maryland, and if that's difficult or if it's the easy thing to do being from this area.
Being from Lower Maryland, originally I'm from Lanham, for real, for like PG County, Maryland. But like I moved out here when I was so young. I don't really claim that area. I claim Laurel. You feel me?
Right.
But like, bro, I guess like you could say it was kind of easy for me because I wasn't really just in Laurel. Like my dad had me in a scene all over the DMV, like from like a young age. When I was like playing AAU basketball, I would be out PG County, DC, all the way up to
Nah,
Baltimore.
that's a fact.
Like I was just back and forth like around the whole DMV area. So I built a lot of connections through that. A lot of my sports, I built a lot of connections all over in different counties. Then when I had the chance, to like go out on my own, you feel me, like and just explore the world myself, bro. I was always like a talkative person, you feel me. Like people know me. Like if you ask people who went to school with me, I'm just talkative. You feel me? Like I talk to anybody and everyone. I don't give a fuck who you are. You feel me? I'm gonna talk to you. So like I guess you can say it was kind of easy for me to like build my networking skill, like my connections out in the lower area. It's not really hard, I guess. You feel me? It's just like if you're not shy of people, like it's going to be easy for you to like build connections.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about what advice you would have for the youth or somebody up and coming that's trying to maybe start a talk show host or get into broadcasting and certain things like that. Because you obviously have a lot of things you envision for your podcast, but what advice would you have for somebody maybe younger than you or coming up, maybe middle school, high school, around that age, that's trying to
Mhm.
get into what we're doing? So what advice would you have for them starting off?
Be organized, stay ambitious, and don't give
Really?
up. Don't give up. Like people, like so many people want to look down on you, maybe hate on you, like because they see you doing something that they're not doing. You know what I'm saying? But like just don't give up on that vision. Like if you have a clear path, like a smart idea, just don't give up. It's going to work. You feel me? It's all about the algorithms. Like the more you produce, the more you're gonna get noticed. You feel me? So for that to say, like just don't give up, be ambitious too, stay on your grind. And then those are like the two I would really say, and always build like connections too. You feel me? As you're going. And stay organized. Like you don't want your plan to be this, then next day be that. You gotta stay with one structured plan, and then once that plan is up, then you can branch into other things.
Nah, that was a big one you just said. Definitely connecting with different types of people and being
Mm-hmm.
organized. Because I feel as if you really want to do something in life, having ambition is a very, very good
Mm-hmm.
thing. But you want to be organized with what you're doing. You don't want to just throw any type of content out there. That's
Right.
what I appreciate about your podcast. You really try to perfect your craft in a way to where you're organized. All your episodes are organized. You can tell you're well prepared. You do research on the individuals. And,
Right.
that's something that I had to learn starting off is you want to do research on the person, like how we just talked about how your open ears entertainment, like just doing
Right.
research on you and certain things like that. That's very important for a podcast and just trying to build your podcast and your viewers and your audience because if you're organized, people are going to take you seriously. But if you're
Right.
not organized, people are going to look at you and say, oh, well, he's just not really doing this seriously. He's just
Right.
doing it just to do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't just want to be a celebrity around where your area is. You want to expand your business and certain things like that. So that was very important that she said that for sure.
Right.
Most definitely. Now,
For sure.
what upcoming things do you have planned, man? Because I know you're a huge thinker, man. You got big goals. What upcoming things do you have for your podcast that you maybe want to share just a little bit? It don't gotta be too much because it could be a surprise. But what do you have up and coming for your podcast so far? Give them a little sneak peek of what Ramsey and Rambo spin that open ears in his hand and got going on.
I'm not going to speak on it too much,
Yeah,
but
just give a little taste.
a lot. Interviews with bigger artists coming. Definitely. I'm not going to like speak on the names, but like definitely, I got some big like people coming on the podcast soon. You feel me? Documentaries is coming. It's crazy. I'm about to go out LA in March for real, for real. So I'm about to shoot a vlog out there and start creating
Yeah,
documentaries. So I'm bringing a whole new aspect to the page, not just interviews now. Being like, oh shit, you got documentaries now. Like this is tough. You feel me? So yeah, more visuals. I'm trying to be on that creative directors type time. You feel me? Like I'm creating different visuals for people to come and like watch my show. You feel me? And like explain my past and my story and like just other things as well.
nah, it's
I'm,
that's
I'm,
good, man.
yeah, I'm thinking about actually. I'm working on creating a TV series out here and giving people the real news from like everyday people life perspective. You feel me? Not just what you see on CNN. So like about to start interviewing people all around this area. You feel me? You may be doing documentaries with them and like creating visuals out here for like people to really see what's going on in areas versus what the news tells you. You feel me?
I'm glad that you say that. I'm really glad that you just put that out there because I feel like that's very important what you're about to start doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
the news is a good thing to watch, but it doesn't give you that real feel, that real taste, that real vibe with people.
Yeah.
I mean, people just see it on the news, but when you're up close and personal, and people know that you're from this area and you're interviewing them and certain things like that, it gives you a certain vibe with them that to where like they're like, oh well, this is really going on and where I'm from, and then you never
Mm-hmm.
know that can possibly inspire people to start doing other things that they didn't know they had were even capable of. So
Right.
it's very important that you're gonna go around and start interviewing people from this area, doing docu series, give them certain visuals, just that certain film, and let them really know what Laurel, Maryland is all about. I
Right.
mean, we from Laurel, we gotta represent Laurel to the fullest, man. Like I tell people all the time, man, it's a lot of talent in Laurel, Maryland. We just gotta find it and bring it out. Like you
Yeah.
might not even know the person next to you could be a star in the making, and you don't even know it because it's they don't have no platform. You know
Right.
what I mean? They have nowhere to go on and talk about what they're doing. So I'm glad that you're doing that for sure. Most definitely.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
upcoming goals do you have for your podcast? Give me what upcoming goals you have. Like, give me a time span. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years doing this podcast?
In the next 5 years, well, the plan for this year, the end of this year is 10K subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
Once I platform, then I'll be like a big enough platform where like it's a lot easier to network with people of like of a higher platform. But like in the next 5 years, oh, I'm definitely gonna have my own studio space, my own like it's gonna be like on some no jumper type time, like my
Yeah.
own walk. People can wait in line, walk in my store. You feel me? Get like interviews done, come shop because I don't want to just have a podcast too. Like I still want to have like my own store as well as like a little mini department store where I have local brands. You can come shop, local brands, all that kind of stuff in there too. So I'm gonna have my own store probably in the next 5 years. That's the goal.
Talk a little bit about that, having your own store. So will it be like open ears entertainment? Will you like try
Mm-hmm.
to promote? That's what's up, man.
Like it's gonna be like a shop house, sort of like a upstairs will be like the podcast room, like where like my little team does the work, and you can come in and do a podcast. That's open ears entertainment, and then downstairs will be the actual store, but I'll probably call that something else, but it'll be sponsored by Open Ears.
Y'all heard it from them first. Make sure y'all be able to look out for that open ears entertainment merch, man. Coming very soon.
Yeah,
Very soon.
yeah.
Man, I really appreciate what you got going on. Me being a podcast host, I always try to show love to different types of people, no matter what, like I said, ethnicity or background you're from. And
Mm-hmm.
being also a podcast host from this area, it was only right for us to collab and come together and show love. You
Mm-hmm.
interviewing me, now I'm getting a chance to interview you. And just motivating and inspiring people, man. That's really what you're doing. Because how old are you?
I'm 23, bro.
23. I'm only 21, bro. So we still young in the game, and we still got a
Yeah,
whole lot to learn. But we just gonna keep progressing. And we definitely gonna link up for a lot more stuff. Cause I
for
definitely
sure, for
mess with the
sure.
vision. Mess with the vision that you got going on. And for everybody that's out there watching, man, make sure y'all tune in, cause he got a lot. He got a lot of stuff going on for him, man.
For
The
sure, for
last
sure.
thing, the last thing I'm gonna ask you for this episode is, what do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done? Who does Rambo spend that open airs entertainment? Who do you want to be remembered as when it's all said and done? What do you want your legacy to be?
Like, I mean, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but like, I got people like from this area who look up to me. You feel me? Like, for me to like just keep going. Like they tell me every day, you keep going with this idea. I mean, I'm gonna really put on for like my area. You feel me? My family, definitely first. Like, I got some shit with my brother coming. You feel me? Like he about to run a whole section on my podcast page. Like I'm not even going to get into the topic or genre, but it's gonna be on some whole different type time. That's gonna create views. Feel me? So I'm gonna pass that down to him. That section. I'm trying to get this up. You feel me? My podcast, so for I can pay off my parents' mortgage bill. You feel me? Like I got hella stuff that I want to do in the past. Like I'm gonna build that up, and then once I die, probably just pass the page on to my kids and let them run the whole business. You feel me? Yeah, so
That's
like,
definitely
yeah, yeah.
that's
But I want to do it for my community and where I'm from too. You feel me? I'm trying to put Laurel on the maps. You feel me? Yeah.
definitely got to put Laurel on the map, man. For everybody that's out there in Laurel that's watching this interview, man, if you just need a voice in the platform, just come holler at us, man. Definitely go
Mhm.
on my guy's page, look at the interviews he got. They're dope interviews. He's doing this thing, and he has a lot more in store as well as I. We got a lot more in store coming for y'all,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Before we end today's episode, this episode was sponsored by Off the Hustle, where you can't be a hustle without ambition. Go get your merch from odhapparel.com.
Mhm.
And make sure y'all tap in for next week's episode. That's it for episode 30. I appreciate you coming on here, my guy.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Make sure y'all stay locked in.
All right, bro. We locked in.